All right. This is Travels with John. And I had an inquiry about the prior video concerning AI and car repair that I thought was worth following up on. And this is someone who actually knows me personally, so they texted me with this question, and so it's not going to be it's not a comment on the video, but I thought it was something that was realistic to follow up on. And I'm not really one for reposting a prior video that's already put up, so someone more sophisticated in their YouTube publishing would say, oh, well, that person asked that question, probably others are going to ask that question. I'm going to go ahead and sort of make a new segment of video and then edit those two together and repost. And that's a number of moving parts. I'm out here traveling. I'm trying to keep it real simple. So single take, no edits, STNE, the SNE philosophy of content creation. Single take, no edits. Just film this thing and publish. No fancy graphics, no credits, no opening kind of, what is it? It's sort of like a logo, but it's a sound. Intel inside, that they have this particular sound, or a lot of content creators will have a sort of opening sound. It's really cool. I appreciate it. Kind of, it's part of their brand. I think that's awesome. Right now, that's not me. I'm single take, no edits. So anyways, we're following up to AI car repair, and the question was this, because I ended the video, I had posited that my prior AI diagnosis to this problem my 2017 Ford Expedition's been having, where you'll be driving along and all of a sudden the speedometer just cuts off. So there's three things that happen. The speedometer cuts off, the airbag sensor pops on, I guess, as though the airbag's been deployed and they're just telling you, hey, you gotta reinsert this thing. Or there's a problem with the airbag and we can't guarantee it's gonna, expand if you hit somebody. I'm not sure what that sensor means. Anyways, the airbag sensor comes on and it starts riding rough. And I couldn't get anyone to diagnose that thing. Could not get anyone to diagnose it. Sometimes the speedometer going to zero is a result of your alternator just literally quitting on you while you're driving, and your battery drains to nothing, so your whole instrumentation, which runs off the battery, just goes kaput, and including your speedometer just dropping off the face of the earth, along with your power steering, power brakes, etc. So anyways, that wasn't the problem. We did, some of them, I took it to a couple of mechanics in the place where it failed, which was Wilkesboro, North Carolina, and they did not diagnose the issue, but they did say, hey, it's not the alternator. So I thought it was the alternator, maybe, I didn't know. They said it's not the alternator, and everyone had different theories. I took it to two different mechanics in Wilkesboro. It wasn't the battery. Out of the Wilkesboro mechanics, we did find out, okay, it's not the alternator, it's not the battery, and they were talking about the PCM module, some computer somewhere in the engine, and some of their diagnostic codes were showing PCM, but it wasn't definitive and it was inconclusive. So sometimes with stuff like that, when you're your sort of small business mechanics can't really get at it, sometimes that's the kind of things you might take to a dealer. The dealer in Wilkesboro couldn't work me in, so I just sort of rolled the dice. And at the time I didn't know, I thought it probably wasn't the alternator, but I wasn't sure, 100% sure. Anyways, I just decided to roll the dice. I had to get back to Raleigh anyways, so just took off. So this is a very long, I'm basically repeating the whole first video of AI car repair. AI had told me, basically the dealer in Raleigh, they didn't know what was going on either. No one knew what was going on. I basically posted the exact symptoms into Google Gemini, and it nailed a diagnosis that perfectly fit everything that was happening and gave me references and links to source material where this problem was discussed at length on several car forums that I did not find those car forums like from a Google search, but Gemini AI did have that indexed, and it just summarized it all perfectly in a nice answer. And the answer was, it's a sensor in your transmission. You got to take the whole transmission apart to change that sensor. It's very expensive, but just reboot the thing. Just restart the car, which I found had worked. Right when I restarted it, it just came back on the first time. Now it happened for the second time just the other day, and that's when I filmed this video, AI car repair. It had just happened while I was driving. All of a sudden the speedometer goes to 0. So I was like, gotcha, it happened again. So I posted, or shot that video, talked about it. I thought it was pretty fascinating that Gemini had, and it diagnosed it at length and gave me all kinds of background and context of what's going on, the exact name of the sensor, which I can't remember. Other people having this problem, restarting the car just makes it fine, right? Clears the sensor in some way. And so that was about 2 months ago when that happened. So it's intermittent, maybe 2 months between it happening. We'll see. But someone asked, I just sort of ended the video, stopped, parked. I had gotten to my destination. I'm like, yeah, when I restart this, I'm pretty sure it's going to clear the sensor and we'll get the speedometer back. All will be good. Someone asked, hey, did that happen? Did in fact the speedometer start working again? The answer is yes. So Gemini is validated in its diagnosis. It wasn't just a one-time phenomenon. This happened now twice, and Gemini's diagnosis, or their intermittent fix of just rebooting, was correct. And so that, you can say, well, it's not that. I mean, who cares? It's just, everyone knows to reboot a computer. Well, stuff with your car, you want to know what's going on. The proper diagnosis is pretty significant, because if it was, say, maybe not a failed alternator, but something indicating a problem with the alternator, the electrical, that could fail, when you're running, and it's a catastrophic failure. It's not like, this isn't a catastrophic failure. My speedometer goes to 0. Engine light comes on and it rides rough because basically it starts in third gear. It doesn't progress first, second, third up with the automatic transmission. It just, for whatever reason, it starts in third gear. So you're just sort of chugging, just sort of slow chugging. It's hard to kind of get up and go. And so there's the symptoms, and there's several problems with cars that, like, if you lose your power steering, you lose your brakes. I mean, I've had where the power brakes fail and you can't even stop the car. You can't, it's like well, at least give me the normal brakes. I mean, just don't do the power. No, I mean, you can't, literally, brakes can fail, the whole computer sensor power brake system, and you can't stop that car. I've had that happen to me in another Ford. My family is a Ford family, but I keep buying them, but I do keep having some weird problems with them. So anyways, you want to know what's going on, and you know, the fact that, hey, it's just this sensor that doesn't seem to be critical to all it's sort of involved in the speedometer. It's definitely involved in the gear shifting, but hey, you'll be okay. If the sensor fails, you'll be okay. And next time you can get off the road, just get off the road, turn the car off, restart. Good. All right, I can work with that problem and solution. Catastrophic failures, you want to go ahead and, you know, if you want to keep the car, you have to tear apart the transmission or whatever and get at this thing. But this saves me $2,000-$3,000, and I know what it is. And so the second the second time this happened, it was in fact the same exact problem. Restarting it did solve the problem. If you want sort of more background or see, you know, the first video, if you're coming into this with a second video and you want to see the context of the live footage when the sensor failed the other day, that would be AI car repair. I think we're going to entitle this one AI car repair update, or AI car repair number 2, something. Yeah, we'll figure that out. So anyways, we're just traveling around in North Raleigh. I'm going to be getting on the road here in a few days. Got some odds and ends to take care of here at the home base or headquarters. We're not really travelers at this stage of life who literally live on the road, live in their mode of transportation. That's not us. I just had low battery. It was blurry. I wonder if it's been blurry the whole time. We're not that way. We've got a home base. We've got, you know, this is headquarters, and I got to take care of some stuff. I got terribly enough, a tooth that needs to get extracted. And I gotta wait around a little while, just trying to sort through getting someone decent to do that. I just don't want to get some random tooth extractor person. My dentist doesn't do that stuff, so they just sort of do cleanings and easy stuff, I guess. Comes to something real, they send you elsewhere. So I'm sorting through that. We'll be getting on the road, but so I'm just traveling here in North Raleigh. I think I'm going to head over to the Y here and get a swim in and kind of go from there. So just wanted to give the update. I had the question, and I thought it'd be worth posting an update. AI car repair number 2. Yes, in fact, to one of my faithful audience, just restarting the car fixed the problem. As our cars are increasingly entwined with computers, with software, with AI, that's going to be the answer. I think more and more, just reboot. I mean, as sophisticated as modern computing, modern platforms, modern software architectures are, a lot of times, I mean, you're not exactly restarting the computer, but you're restarting the container, you're restarting the pod, you're, in some cases, restarting the entire Kubernetes cluster. Whatever it takes, but a lot of times, when you can't, you know, when in doubt, when you don't know the answer and computers are involved in any way, just restart the thing. Just restart it. If you got to keep working, you got to keep going. You don't have time to sift through all the conflicting logs and information. You just need to keep working. Sometimes you just got to restart. Ideally, you get to the exact root cause and you solve it. But like in this case, solving this root cause is a couple grand probably, to break this transmission apart, find this one tiny little sensor, and change it. So if you don't want to do that and I don't want to do it, restarting is the answer. There's no shame in restarting. We gotta keep moving in this modern complex world with all this computing, and software fails. Can't remember his last name, but I think he was the CTO of Amazon when I was there. His first name was Werner. His famous quote was, "Everything fails all the time." And it was sort of a lesson in computing redundancy and resilience, and just planning that every single part of your system is going to fail at one time or another. So what are you going to do about it? And his thesis, or a lot of his discussion, was how Amazon's cloud and Amazon's systems enabled you as a company to, or whoever, as an entrepreneur, developer, anyone building a system, how the AWS cloud allowed you to account for everything failing all the time. So anyways, we're going to wrap this one up. The part number 2 of answering the question, hey, did restarting work this time as well? This video is probably taking a lot longer than the first video, but that's how these things go sometimes. So y'all have a great day. This is Travels with John signing out.